So brand new motor. What I did, guys, is I went ahead and just pre-gamed this for you, so we're not going to spend all this time in the world. I went ahead and hooked up my Edge CTS2 monitor. Now you guys don't really need one of these. Most dealerships actually have them. So what I did is I went ahead and just ran the I hooked it up to the little port down here. Okay, guys. And I want to know if I'm going to buy this truck where the injector balance rate. So basically what it's doing is it's showing you guys each cylinder, and it's going to basically give it more or less depending on what each cylinder needs for it to fire correctly, okay? And that's what the injector balance rates are doing. Now, if it's going to say anything within the realm of -4 or +4, okay? If you guys are within that 0 to -4 or +4, that it's a good injector. It's kind of where I'm getting at. If it's reading 5s or -5s or 7s or whatever, then it's bad, okay? So this truck is in great shape.
It is important when you check the injectors on these trucks that you are checking them at an idle. Yes. Going down the road at a throttle, you are not going to get a good reading, if a reading at all. They'll probably go 0 and flatline all the way through. You got to check them at an idle while it's running.
But you guys get the gist, okay? You know where that's going. But what I will tell you is that if the injector or injectors are bad, don't buy the truck, okay? Because then you're spending a whole lot more money than you absolutely don't need.
Let's show them the quick way on an LLY, because this is the most common problem on the LLYs, is how to check if your head gaskets are bad and you don't have time to do a pressure check.
Oh yes.
What I do at the auction before I buy a truck is, when you open the hood after a truck's sitting overnight, you want to check this big upper radiator hose right here, okay? Now, if the head gaskets are bad, this thing's going to be hard as a rock. Notice I can push down all the way, pretty much touch my fingers on it. Now, as it heats up and the truck's running, it's going to get harder, but it's not going to be rock hard. And the other way you can check is to come over here to this overflow, your coolant overflow here, and basically, and do it slow on the on the truck if it is in question, because
it can explode and go up there.
Oh yeah. So basically what would happen is a bunch of air is going to squirt up over top, almost like a geyser type situation, and that's how you know your truck has bad head gaskets, because you're going to have compression built up in your engine and it has nowhere to escape.
Absolutely. Great point, Alex. Sometimes when these head gaskets are bad and you do take this cap off, obviously when it's not hot, make sure that the truck is running, have the cap off, and just see if there's any bubbles, air bubbles inside that overflow tank, because that's going to definitely indicate that you guys have a head gasket. So that's a...
You'll also see that, because basically where it does escape, if it does while it's driving, it's going to come out here. So you're going to see, you know, residue of coolant pretty much all over your passenger front side of your engine bay. That's a pretty good indication of that he's been having head gaskets for quite some time. And then you also want to check, because some people like to do people dirty, is what they'll do is they'll drill a small pinhole somewhere around this coolant tank to let all that pressure escape. So then there's going to be no built up pressure anywhere. And so you got to definitely check that just in case, because you never know what people are selling out there nowadays, especially with a used truck. Another thing I quite see is common is that when the truck hasn't been started overnight, you'll see this hose completely compressed and almost like a vacuum. Now typically when that happens, a lot of people think it's bad head gaskets, and sometimes it can be. But what I found out over time is when this hose is basically flat as a rock, almost like a back pressure vacuum, that's typically where you have bad thermostats. And I've learned that over time. Now it's not always the case. You might find that this hose is compressed and it could be bad head gaskets, but then you want to go into a compression test and see where you're at there.
Do you ever check for blow-by as well?
Yeah, of course. So basically a good way to check for blow-by, I know most people know this, is you're going to start it. There it is. So you're basically going to want to set this cap upside down, start it, and if you have excessive blow-by, this cap will fall right off. So, I mean, this cap, I've seen 6.4s Fords where, I mean, the blow-by's this tall. You can see the actual fumes coming up this tall, and that's why 6.4s have bad piston problems. But we can go ahead and start this up and we'll check the blow-by on this truck. engine has pretty much zero blow-by. It is rattling a little bit, but that's just because the engine's rattling. But if this truck had bad blow-by, this would basically eventually shoot up and rattle right off. And if it's really bad, I mean, you might not even be able to set this on here. I've seen that case before, but as we can see, we can set it there with no problem. We can put our hand right here, there's no blow-by. Let's say you're out and about and you want to see if the truck has bad injectors. Well, you don't have a fancy $5,000 snap-on scanner, and you don't have your edge scanner on you, or your monitor. So what you're going to want to do is start up the truck. Basically, and you want to do this cold, a lot of people will start their truck before you even get there. That's usually an indication that there's either something wrong with the glow plugs or something wrong with the injectors. Guess you got to have the right set of keys to start the truck. I think Truck Master stole the keys here.
My bad. There you go.
We're going to start this truck up. And she's been cold. She's been sitting here all night. We're going to go back to the exhaust. What I usually like to do is bring two people, because I'll have them start up the truck while I sit back here and watch. Now, on an LB7, you'll see this a lot. You'll get a big white puff, or maybe a gray white, maybe even some blue tint in it, and that's when you typically know your truck's dumping too much fuel through and it's escaping through here. So there's another indication where you have bad injectors.
Okay guys, there's a few other things that I'd like to point out. Now I will make this a series, so there's a lot of things that I am missing, guys. So you guys can leave in the comments if there's something that I'm missing or Alex is missing. But one thing there's a few things that I'd like to check, especially with the independent front suspension on these Silverados, these GMCs, is the tie rods, the wheel bearings. So I would suggest to this car salesman to go ahead and get it up on that hoist. I want to shake these tires down.
You go to check the wheel bearings on these. Most people shake them side to side, but that's not the case when you're doing a wheel bearing. When you do a wheel bearing, you want to go up and down. There's even a lot of play in it. Yes, it could be a ball joint, but first, this is going to be your first check of your how you're going to check your wheel bearing. Now, in order to check your ball joints, you're unfortunately going to have to jack this front end up, and then you're going to have to set your front end down on jack stands so it has no weight on the truck. And then you'll be able to look and see while you push this tire up and down if you have upper or lower ball joint play.
Right.
Maybe next week we can put one on the hoist and we'll do that.
We'll show you guys the test. But yeah, absolutely. So just make sure you ask that car salesman if they can bring it back to the service department and get it up on the hoist. Another thing that you guys definitely need to check is that weeping hole on that water pump, okay? Because that right there is a pain in the butt. That's like a $1,200 job. Unfortunately, we have this front cover in the way, so I can't really show you. I don't think I can get a good sight on this one. But guys, basically what I'm saying, and I'll show this in a later video, is there's a small little, we call it a weeping hole, that's on the water pump. It's actually right underneath it, and that's an indication that your water pump is bad, okay? So it may be leaking coolant.
Another good way to check your front end is to look at the person's tires, because you'll see that these, if you got one side, the inside is cupped or not. I mean, this one's barely cupped, so you can see that either this person didn't rotate their tires, or since we fixed the front end, that there could have been slight ball joint play, being that this inside tread right here, farthest in, and you could even see it on the outside, typically you won't see it in the middle, is that this is lower or higher than your inside tread. That's usually a good indication that you have something wrong with your front end. Typically that's a ball joint play, and you can kind of see on this, I know it's hard to see on the camera, that this is just a titch lower than this inside tread right here. So if you can run your hand across it and feel that it's not level, I mean, you can go ahead and negotiate with the person you're buying from. Hey, you're gonna need some front end work here soon.
Right, and another indication is the womped feel. That's what I call it, when the tires are womped. You can kind of feel it being wavy, so that's a really good point.
So basically why I bought this truck is this was a one-owner truck made here in Michigan. And another place you can go and see all your 3/4 tons, well, as far as I know, are made right here in Flint, Michigan. So this truck would normally have a sticker here, so let's go look at the next truck so we can show you exactly where this truck is made. So all 3/4 tons should come from this same plant right here, built in Flint, Michigan, right over where I grew up, right on Van Slyke and Bristol Road in Flint, Michigan. So that's a good indication where you know where this truck is. Now, a lot of trucks are coming from Canada, and people want to ask, well, how do I know if this truck is from Canada? Because all the trucks are going to have this sticker saying that they're made in Flint, and then they get imported to Canada. So I do buy some Canadian vehicles. It's not a habit I like to get into, but let's go look at this Dodge and I'll show you how you can determine if this truck came from Canada or not. So we'll go ahead and pop this door. Now, any of these trucks that come from Canada are going to have this little maple leaf sticker right here, whether it's a GM, Ford, or Dodge. So this is a good indication that this truck is from Canada. You also usually see one of these stickers right here saying who it was imported from.
This is the LBZ, right?
Yep, this one, I know it came from Michigan, but we're gonna look in here and we'll pick on my truck for a minute. People would ask, how is this truck so rusty on the frame and it only has 76,000 miles on it? Well, I'll tell you how that happens. Basically, what you had here is maybe an old farm truck that probably sat in the grass for quite some time and didn't have the frame, you know, cleaned daily. So what we're gonna do to this truck is go through it and we're gonna sandblast the frame, and then we're gonna recoat it with some undercoating. So that's something you wanna look at when you're buying trucks as well.
Especially those cross members.
Yep. Now this one has original rockers and cab corners. We can sit and look under here and you can tell, a lot of the ways you can tell if it has original rockers and cab corners is we can look at the ridges on the bottom of this rocker. See how there's a ridge here, ridge here, ridge here. Now we'll look at the truck next to it because I believe that one has been actually right here. See, these are all good rockers and cab corners as well. Now let's go look at my next truck right here, which has been Bondo patched by the previous owner. Keep in mind we did not do this, but this will give you how you can see. Look how all the ridges are gone. See all those? No ridges. So basically what the person, and you can see the rust right here. It's been all covered. So what they did is basically took a big thing of body filler, went all the way down this rocker panel. You can see how uneven it is. You can even see the overspray on the frame right here. Whoever did this didn't do a very good job, because no matter if you have rocker rust or not, covering it up might last for maybe 6 months if you're lucky, maybe a year if you did it right. But the only proper way to do it is to cut this cab corner out here at the body line, and we're gonna go ahead and cut all the rockers out. Oh, it's getting pretty nasty in here. It's all still there because they used the body filler, but when you go to do your own rockers and cab corners, just cut them all the way out.
Okay, so we talked about the 07 LBZ, $24,000. He's gonna go ahead and do the, basically he's gonna go ahead and blast the frame. He's gonna make it nice and pretty, and he's gonna make it right. So he wants 24,000, is that right? Yep,
and basically, I mean, from what I'm seeing at market prices right now, if the truck is a clean LBZ with around $150,000 or 150,000 miles on it, it's still worth probably around 20 grand. I wouldn't pay much more than that, but that's being that the rockers and cab corners are clean.
Yes.
Now let's go to an LLY, let's say around 150,000. Those usually are going for somewhere in the mid-teens. Your LB7s, let's say they're clean, the injectors have been done. Typically, those stay right around 11 or 12 if they're done correctly. So this truck I got up for $10,950. This does have 366. Again, there's only 60,000 miles on the motor. One of the good deals I think I got here is a Chevy 1-ton. This is a 2012 LML. It does have 227,000 miles on it, but brand new this truck was close to $75,000.
Oh, easy.
So
yeah,
I got this price right, I think, at $21,750.
Yeah, it's a good price. It really is.
Yep.
And you're getting the LML, and it doesn't seem like, I checked this truck out myself, and there's no aftermarket parts whatsoever. So you're getting a stock LML. Yeah, it's got some high mileage on it, but it's a really good truck. It's really nice. It runs great, and it just looks beautiful.
Now, I guess we can go over some Dodge pricing right here. This is a 2006, one of the last years of the 5.9 Common Rail. I got this price at a $15,000 truck, and I'll tell you why. It's because this is a mega cab, and if you go on the open market right now, there's just not too many mega cabs out there. this was a quad cab, it'd probably only be $12,000 truck. But you get that extra cab and that extra back seat. Sorry it's dirty, but it's a tough truck to find, especially when Ford or GM does not make a cab this big. I mean, you can see that this back seat right here is all the way back. You got plenty of room for a person that's well over 6 foot.
You can sleep right here in the center if you wanted to.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So how much did you want for this truck?
This is a $15,000 truck here.
It's a nice truck. And we got this beautiful LBZ Duramax lifted. It's Truckmaster's truck. It's for sale. Okay guys, so basically I'll leave in a link in, or I'll leave it in the description, their address, and here's their phone number as well. If you guys would like to contact them for, you know, really anything. I mean, he obviously, I know I talk a lot about his trucks, but I mean, he does sell cars and stuff like that, you know, a lot of new stuff. I think you just sold that Cadillac too, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's a nice Cadillac.
We're one of the smaller dealerships in Michigan, but we've become #2 in our county, which is important to us. Phone number's on there, our website's on there. If you ever need tires, parts, anything, you can give me a call. Even if you just got a question or you want to stop by and get your check engine light scanned for free, we can try to help you, point you in the right direction before you spend some money. So, appreciate everyone taking time to look over the Duramaxes, and hopefully next week and 2 weeks after that, we'll have a bunch more out here for you.
Yeah, and if you guys ever show up here, you better say that you saw that Truckmaster recommended you. So
that'll give you a discount.
Yeah.
On anything.
That'll give you a discount. All right. Okay guys, so I appreciate you sticking in there with me if you've watched this all the way to the end. I know it's a pretty long video, but hopefully we learned something, you know, and leave in the comments below if you guys would like to see more videos like this. I want to do more informative videos for you guys for the Duramax, and maybe even branch off to the Cummins here eventually. I'm hoping to do something like that. But anyways guys, make sure that you follow me on Instagram, Truckmaster07, and I'm going to give you guys a bunch of sneak peek things that are going to be posted on the YouTube channel. You're not going to see it anywhere else but on my Instagram. For those of you guys that already follow me on Instagram, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. But gosh, I want to tell you right now, but I got some huge things planned for the Duramax. I can't tell you right now. But other than that guys, I will see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Take care.